Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I am 7 minutes late. I am so sorry. We've been having problems at this end with everything going on, so very sorry indeed. Right, okay, I have got Julia. Hello, Julia. How are
Hello,
you?
Steve. Hello, good afternoon to you. Very inspiring music and graphics there. That was great fun.
I thought you were falling asleep when you was listening to it. Anyway, tell us about yourself.
Thank you for having me on your show, Steve. What shall I tell you? Which bit shall I tell you about myself? I suppose, first of all, I have um, just written a book, and that's very exciting. Um, and I'm a therapist, and I'm a mum, and I'm a nature lover, and I'm pleased to be here and have a chat with you this afternoon. Let's
Brilliant,
see where
thank
we
you.
go.
Okay, so um, I just when I was reading the notes earlier about you, I found it very intriguing with what you've been through, and um, and there is one something that I want to bring up with you and for a second about you said my home was in the garden and I danced and changed the weather, right? So and then it goes no matter how the adults try to tame me. What was that about?
Gosh, thanks for reading. Well,
Was it because you just ignored your parents and just thought, oh well, I get on with my life and enjoy my life?
it really was a special, sacred moment in the garden. And you know what children are like. There's no limits to what they believe they can do. And in that moment, when I danced, when the sun was shining and then the rain was falling, and I was dancing, and it felt as if I was changing the weather. It felt as if I had some kind of simple power. I'm in relationship with the elements, I was in relationship with the weather. And from an adult's perspective, now I could say, oh, that's just springtime in Britain. And we know that the weather in springtime is very changeable. It quickly turns from sunshine to rain. But in that moment, as a child, I felt amazing. I felt like I could do anything. And it really felt real to me. And that's the kind of stuff, I guess, that matters for all of us in our childhoods, those moments that felt vivid and real and exciting and interesting.
Yeah, because your work means a lot to you, doesn't it?
Thanks for noticing. Yeah, it really does. It really does. Mm.
Yeah, and over 25 years you worked as a body therapist. Now, what a body therapist? Never heard of that. So explain.
Well, I'm a body worker, which I guess um, you could talk about massage therapy, or acupuncture, or certain kinds of energy work, or even certain kinds of psychotherapy could be described as body therapy. So it means that even if, and there is often dialogue going on, verbal dialogue with a client, it means that fundamentally the emphasis, the locus of the change and the transformation is taking place in the body. And that's always true, even for talking therapies. So I'm trained as a Grimberg method of bodywork practitioner. I'm a biodynamic craniosacral therapist. I'm trained in a systemic approach, call that family constellations. And I also have a training in Kashmiri Tantra. And I bring in also my experience from being in spiritual schools, my informal experience. So body work is about returning to sensing and feeling the here and now, returning and sensing the body and undoing patterns of tension in the body so that energy and vitality can flow,
Right.
so that
Okay.
there's health and well-being. Yeah.
Okay. And so with your work now, then what you do now is, uh, tell me a typical time when some. So say if I phone you up and I say, right, Paula, I want you to help me. Now, how can you help me? So what would you do? Go through the induction and tell me how you can help me.
It's my response to each person is individual. It depends on who they are and how they are and what's going on for them, what they want to change and where they want to get to. So typically in a session, there is a small amount of verbal dialogue where I ask some questions and sense um, what is going on for them in their physical body and what is going on for them in their lives. And we settle together into a relationship, and all healing is relational, takes place within the container of relationship. And then there may be hands-on touch, or there may be a continuation of verbal dialogue, or I may some exercises for somebody to do. And there may be a period of rest. There may be some release or shift that happens in the session, depending again, according to exactly what it is that they need. And then we have a conclusion. And often a change is visible for a person. Sometimes people's faces glow. People with all kinds of healing work come to look more beautiful and more authentic, not just only in my work. And of course, very often there's a shift, a change with a physical symptom, such as a painful shoulder or an uncomfortable back. Um, did I answer your question?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Let's talk about your book, The Healing Power of Pleasure. What was the reasoning behind your book?
Thanks for asking. I wanted people to know that no matter their circumstance, they too can heal and change and thrive. And as a small child in the garden, I always knew that there was a great deal of pleasure possible for us all, even though I often felt limited when I was at home or I was at school. I felt limited and I saw that lots of people were not happy. I always knew that it was possible for people to be happy, whether it's knowledge that I bring in from a previous life or it's knowledge from this lifetime. It was definitely written from something that my heart knows and wants to share. Um, and it's a wish for us all to be a bit freer and a bit happier in our
Right,
health, in our
okay.
work, in our relationships, to enjoy life more and not just be stuck in difficulty.
That's the trouble, though, isn't it? We kind of like we're so sent kind of like um, staying in the past and not moving forward, and we care about what's happened in the past, and we need to forgive and move on. Do you agree?
I definitely agree, and it often takes quite a bit of work for all of us to do what's needed to heal ourselves. And again, for each person, it's different. Um, but the healing journey definitely works. It does enable us to let go of the past stories, past resentments, past images of ourselves, and to become more of who we know that we are really. We all have a sense inside of us of who we really are. And through the course of our lives, most of us, many of us, wish to become more of that, more of our potential, more of the sense that we have for ourselves. And that can happen. And it takes a bit of commitment and dedication and bothering to do one's meditation or exercises or sessions or groups or whichever modality somebody chooses. But it's absolutely possible to move on from the past, to let it go, not just to forgive. You said to forgive. I think it's yeah, really being able to release it.
Right. So not to forgive.
It depends on the situation. Yeah, I just mean that it's not just in the mind.
Right.
It's not just thoughts about it. It's also, as I said before, the physical patterns of tension in the body um, that need to loosen. All of us have fixed patterns in the body. Some of us may hold one shoulder higher than the other, or we have a way of having the way we hold our head or our bellies or the way that we walk, right? We
Mm.
all have particular habits or postures when we're sitting and when we're walking. And those postures and habits, tension patterns, are not just physical. They also are about the way that we relate to ourselves, the way we relate to other people in the world, the way we relate to our past and our future. So forgiveness, absolutely, because our parents most of the time are doing the best that they can. Obviously, many different circumstances, but the point, the emphasis I wish to make is that the release takes place through changing old fixed
Yeah. Yeah.
physical
Okay.
habits, and then there's a release and allow something new.
Of course. Yeah. I'm going to look at your workshops because I was looking earlier and I found this interesting. The Joy of Being workshop. Tell us about that workshop.
Well, it is starting to put into practice in this form the teachings from my book. In my book and in this workshop, thank you for asking, I talk about 7 medicines, 7 practical spiritual medicines that can take a person on a journey from mess to magic. So that is a movement through slowing down, becoming embodied, deepening, coming into good relationship with oneself and others, accessing pleasure, becoming really empowered, authentic empowerment. And as we've been saying, coming into contact with that mysterious and magical and often much wanted personal potential.
Mm.
So it's a combination of inspiring ideas and very practical exercises and practices. It's a step by step journey and it's fun.
Right. Okay. Okay. And how about the other workshops that you do? Are they can you tell me, do they work monthly? Do they work weekly? And out, if people's listening now, I've got a few people here saying, "Oh, I'll be interested in this." So, how do they get onto your plans, onto your workshops? And two, what would they expect in your workshop?
So I'll say the name of my website at this point, seems relevant, which is universeofdeliciousness.com. And like many people, I have a newsletter. I call it Hints of Deliciousness. Signing up for that is a great way for finding out, and the same as social media, finding out the dates of events that are on. And you asked me, what can people expect? I guess a mix of dialogue and conversation, body work in some form or another, which means movement and breath, and sensing practices, meditations, perhaps exercises as a group and exercises in pairs or threes. There's some meditative stillness. There's a bit of magic thrown in. There's some alchemy and some ritual that will be in there as well. So every time it is in response to the individual participants. And there's always some connection with nature there too.
Great, brilliant, brilliant. And so,
Thanks.
if people want to come and join, they just go to your website and they just register. Is that right?
That's right. Sign up for the newsletter, follow me on social media, um, buy the book and find out more about this way of moving into more delightfulness. Um, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. And
Let,
where can they get your book to?
um, the book is amazingly available everywhere that books are sold. So certainly it's on Amazon and all the other big bookshops online, Waterstones, WH Smith, Blackwell's Book Depository. I believe it's also on Google Books and Apple Books. It's available as a Kindle version. It's available as an audiobook. I've only heard a 4-minute clip of the audiobook so far, but it sounds fantastic.
It does.
And
I've listened to it.
bless you for listening. And yeah, and the paperback, of course.
Yeah, brilliant. And how much is the paperback?
I believe the cost is $16.99. Um, the Kindle, the prices change slightly when I look at different times on Amazon.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay, okay, guys.
but let me just tell you, the book is full. May I just tell you that the
Yeah,
book
carry
is
on.
full of inspiring ideas. It's full of wisdom from different spiritual traditions. It's got some poems in there. It's got drawings, my own little paintings in there. There is a wealth of practices. So there's over 50 practical meditations and exercises in the book. And it's getting some great reviews from readers, and it's already received excellent endorsements from other self-help authors. Words like an important book and a visionary call to action. And I really do hope that it will help a lot of people.
I hope
It's
it does. I hope it really does. Because, what I've read, I've kind of like, I've, I've read the beginning of it, and it's a really good book because what it is, it's got like, it's got your drawings in it, it's got the poetry. I love your poetry, by the way. I've got to get you on some
oh,
other time. I've got to get on some other time, get you on some other time, talk about your poetry because that's fantastic. I love it. I'm all for poetry and things like that, so that's really good. So, guys, don't forget, I got in contact with Waterstones today, where I live, and it I've been told it's a really, really good book. I haven't met Paulette before, but I'm telling you right now, right, go out and get it because it's a really good book, and it really will help you. And it is because I've ordered mine already, and I can't wait for it to come. I can't wait, and it's it's really good. And I think the trouble is, if you buy this book, it will help you with your life, and it help you to kind of like be more relaxed, more calm. And it's got exercises in there too, in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, really good. So go out and go, guys, go and buy it. And I'll put it on my website later on. Make sure you do. And at the end of the day, I don't make nothing from it. I don't want nothing from it. All I ask you is just go out and support all my guests that come on because they do all this for free. And in return, I like to help them out. Paulette, uh, Julia, sorry for. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for yours. What a heartful chat. And yes, there's lots of us who are really wanting from our hearts to make the world a better place. And that matters. There's lots of good people doing good work. So thank
Yeah,
you
yeah.
for doing your
That's
show.
that's okay. We've been doing quite well, and it's really really good. And was so sorry that I was late. So guys, go out there and get it now. I tell you what, guys, on the radio at the moment, right? I know you keep on asking, but what I will do, I will come up here, and I will contact um, Julia, and and we will book her in, and we will tell you about the book and everything. And what I'll do next time I get her on, if we can get you on next time, I'll have the book with me, and what we'll do, we'll go through some of it, live on air, and that'll be really, really good. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That's such a great idea for the future. Cheers. Have a good
Brilliant.
afternoon.
And you too. Bye bye.
Many thanks. Lovely to meet you.
And you. Thank you.
Bye for now.